is Trump with what happened with a civil fraud fine. Here's some things that we need to know about on this case. 13 Trump properties that New York AG Letitia James can go after if he doesn't pay up. So this was a story from last week. They're going to go after this property. They're going to go after that property. Everybody on the left was fired up about them going after all of these properties, and they were so excited about it. First one was a Seven Springs. The property spanning over 200 acres in Westchester County was fraudulently valued by Trump at $291 million. Remember, this article is written by Insider, just so you know. So the words they use, you can see certain words they're using. Whereas its actual net worth is $25 million, according to Forbes. So this one here they can go after. They can go after Westchester Golf Club, which is valued at around $15 million, assessed initially at $15 million, depending on what the number. Again, you're trusting what Insider's saying. 40 Wall Street, okay, is the other one. You got Trump Tower XXX apartment. You got Trump Tower commercial space. You got 1290 Avenue of Americas, Trump World Tower, Trump Park Avenue, okay. They're saying it's worth $101 million, but claiming up to $350 million. 6 East Street, 57th Street, Trump Plaza, Trump Park, Trump International Hotel and Tower, Trump Palace, all of these things they wrote. You know which one they didn't write? They didn't write Mar-a-Lago, because even CNN, when they said Mar-a-Lago was worth only $18 million, later on they came back and said Mar-a-Lago can be sold today for $240 million. Even they realized what the value was. However, Trump can now post smaller bond in civil fraud case. New York Appeals Court granted Donald J. Trump a significant victory by accepting a bond of $175 million in a civil fraud case, providing relief from a potential financial crisis. This smaller bond offers a crucial lifeline for Trump, preventing the New York Attorney General office from collecting the judgment while he appeals. Trump's lawyer argued that the trial judge $454 million penalty was excessive and unconstitutional, emphasizing the likelihood of overturning it on appeal. The penalty stemmed from accusations of inflating net worth to obtaining for favorable loans, leading to interest payments, et cetera, right? Anyways, so this just happened, Tom. How big of a deal and how big of a victory is this for Trump?
Well, it's a victory for Trump, but it's a return to sanity for the court. When you have a judgment like this, when you go to appeal, you have the opportunity to wait. If you were to look at all the judgment, look at the asbestos case, look at the, what was the Camp Lejeune that had the water purification issues and the poisoning of soldiers. You take a look at all these fraud cases, nobody gets a nickel till all these cases, they get appealed, they get appealed, they get appealed. Nobody gets a nickel because we have due process. And so asking him to put the full amount up is like saying, never mind, we're not going to worry about, the appeal process or due process. You just put the money here. Well, she wouldn't get the money. It would be held by the state. And so bringing this back down is just like bringing bail down. You know, when you've committed a crime or something, they have bail to ensure that you'll show up in court. And so moving this down is the right thing to do because it's what happens in our court process. They were treating him differently. This is a return to sanity. This is the right move by the courts. And by the way, there's a lot of people not speaking into the microphone that want this to happen because other civil fraud cases and stuff, they don't want it to happen either.
Yeah. By the way, do you know what was the amount of Bernie Madoff's scheme? Can you pull up what Bernie Madoff's scheme was? How much money did he scheme from people?
They gave him life in prison, right? Yeah, that's a lot.
Can you pull up
your
how much
life?
He's dead now.
What's the dollar? Watch this here. In 2009, the Southern District of New York charged Bernie Madoff for his $64 billion securities fraud Ponzi scheme. It was one of the most prolific financial crimes in American history. It is the most prolific financial crimes. Do you know what his bill was? Do you guys know what his bill was?
No.
I want you to guess what his bill was.
10%.
Okay. 10% will be $6.4 billion, right? Do me a favor. Go pull up.
No, not that high. No,
go pull up Bernie Madoff's bail amount right there. December 2008 was arrested and charged securities fraud. Madoff posted a $10 million bill in December 2008, remained under 24-hour monitoring and house arrest in the Upper East Side penthouse apartment until his guilty plea on March 12th in 2009. This guy stole $60+ billion from people in New York, just $10 million. This is actual Ponzi, like it's actual scheme, like theft.
Yeah.
And it's only $10 million. Go ahead, Tom.
And by the way, it was 24-hour monitoring and house arrest because you want to know why? They were scared that he might go somewhere, that there would be no extradition. Something that big for a guy that old, he's only got 20 years left. They thought he would flee the country. Is Trump going to flee the country? No. He wants to stay here and run it.
He's the most
And by the way, now
person
check this
on
out.
the
Go to SBF. Can you go to SBF real quick? What did SBF do? SBF lost how much money? We know the number. It's $32 billion. I think it's what the number is. If you want to kind of, if you type in, he lost $32 billion overnight. That's the number. But if you zoom in, just type in 32 billion, zoom in right there. FTX was valued at $32 billion. Okay. So what's his bill? Can you put up SBF's bill amount? Okay. Sam Bankman-Fried bail amount. Yeah. $250 million. Okay. On how much money? On 10 billion, $32 billion. You put 250. So now these guys actually did a crime.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And we're flight risk.
Yes. Both of them committed a crime. On the other end, everybody got paid. Appraisals were done on both ends. No lender is coming out, but you go after him to deplete of all his savings and his cash for a crime that's done by who? Way of doing business in New York that's been like that for decades? You want to do something like this? If this stands the way that they're doing what they're doing, can you pull up the video of Frank Luntz, by the way, on what he said, Rob? I think these kind of go together. If you go to Frank's video, here's Frank, okay, and what he's saying. I don't know if that's the video.
No, that was
if you okay, check this out, guys. Sweetheart of a lady. Go play this clip real quick.
I want you to remember this moment, and don't forget it. If the New York Attorney General starts to take his homes away, starts to seize his assets, it's all going to be on camera. Pundits are going to sit there and scream about this. This man cannot be elected. You're going to create the greatest victimhood of 2024, and you're going to elect Donald Trump. If they take his stuff, he's going to say that this is proof that the federal government and the establishment and the swamp in Washington and all the politicians across the country and the attorneys generals and all of this, that this is a conspiracy to deny him the presidency. He's going to go up in the polls just like he went up every single time they indicted him.
It's wild.
He's right.
But do you agree with what he's saying?
He's 100% right. And the past polls that have been going on for a year now, when Georgia, when Stormy Daniels, when all this stuff, you go after him and the polls go up. We have the evidence of that happening for the past year.
And Tom, none of their tactics are working. And let's say it out loud what's happening. From 2016, they cheated with Hillary and the DNC. Didn't work. 4 years we had to hear that bullshit. And then we had to have all the impeachments, right? 2020, COVID from China, randomly, our lab, BLM, Antifa, in the streets, everything, cheating, got them out. This is cheating out in the open. This is them going, hey, listen, we know he's number one. We have to take him out. They're not even hiding it anymore. And I think every time they do shit like this, and you nailed it, Tom, his numbers are going up and they're making him look out to be a freaking martyr.
Adam.
Period.
So, like I always say, FTM, follow the money. By the way, breaking news with everything that happened with True Social, Trump has now doubled his net worth. Trump's net worth, I sent this to you, Rob, is now...
We're gonna get into that in a minute.
$6.5 billion. So I know we're going to talk about True Social, but always follow the money. So we've always talked about how back in the day with JFK or whether it's Abraham Lincoln, it was actual assassination.
Right.
Lately, it's turned into character assassination. What they've realized with Donald Trump, you can't assassinate his character because he said everything in the world and beyond, yet he's still here. Mm-hmm. So now it's financial assassination, and that's how they're going after him. So Letitia James, look, I don't know much about her. Here's what I do know. 2018, she called Trump an illegitimate president. She said that. Cool. So now the election interference, it's sort of making sense. By the way, there's a whole DEI woke narrative, straight, rich, white, billionaire, patriarchy, black, female, woke agenda. There's a storyline right there. But the thing I know about Trump, Teflon Don, like this guy doesn't quit. I sent you videos of like whether you like Trump, don't like Trump, love Trump, hate Trump, there's certain things that remain to be true. This guy does not Stop.
Bro, have you had tea today or
I
not?
have tea. It's fine.
Where's your tea?
I'm warming it up, baby.
Well,
I'm
where's your
warming-
tea?
I don't
Here,
can't
take
afford
this
one of
tea,
those
bro.
cups.
Take this tea.
I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'll be good.
Drink your tea.
So the you're not going to kill Trump. Here's just some videos to put it in perspective. Play this one right now. If you think Trump is going away, Democrats, this is his mantra. Check
Things
this out.
never, ever quit. Never quit. And I've seen people quitting. And if they would have held out longer, they would have been successful. I've seen it so much. I've seen some of the most brilliant people in the world that never made it because they were quitters. They were just quitters. They would quit. They just couldn't take it. They couldn't whatever. Now, you have to also have flexibility, though. You can't necessarily say, I'm never giving up, and you got to be able to weave and bob. You don't have to go through a concrete wall when you can go over it or around it or under it or something. You have to have flexibility. You have to always be able to change course a little bit, but don't quit.
There you go. So, whether it's 175 million now that they reduced it to versus what, the 575, whatever the number was, this pales in comparison to what Trump dealt with in the 90s. This guy owed almost $1 billion, $900 million to be exact, when the bankruptcy and the casinos and the hotels basically shut down. So he's used to this. Look at him now with True Social, $6.5 billion. Whether you like him or don't like him, this dude don't give up.